Solutions. Now, as I said, the Federal Reserve, and I'm not going to give all my solutions. We just heard some good ones, and I know other people are going to give, but I want to toss out one of my favorites. As I said, the Federal Reserve is holding the short-term interest rate at 0. Now, the logic behind that was, of course, as I learned in graduate school, loose monetary policy. You push down the interest rate. That makes businesses want to borrow because it's so cheap, and then they spend money in the economy, which creates jobs. Okay, so we've got half of this going. Okay, the banks are getting free money. Free. I'm not kidding. You know, what's the rate? 0.4%. They can borrow at almost nothing, and have that ability for 2.5 years. So, and they have taken advantage of it, right? They know when you see a deal, they take advantage of it. Now, what has been the outcome? The outcome is also another historically unprecedented phenomenon, that banks are sitting on a cash hoard, the likes of which we've never seen. As of, I write this in different articles, actually just last night. This is true. I have an article coming out where I have a regular article column in the New Labor Forum, so I hope you all, it's a good magazine. So this is absolutely true. So last night I was going over the page proofs of my article, and I had to change it, because when I wrote the article a few months ago, the amount that the banks were holding was $900 billion. But when I checked, now it's up to 1.4 trillion. So I have to rewrite the whole thing. So it's an unprecedented cash hoard. Again, 1.4 trillion, remember I said remember that number. 10% of GDP. 10% of GDP is being held in free cash hoards by our commercial banking sector. What's the solution? Move that money into the economy where it belongs. That's the whole point of monetary policy. Now, we don't even have to think about moving 1.4 trillion. Let's think about even 1/3. I mean, part of the problem with the crisis to begin with was that the banks were over-leveraged, they were way too risky, they didn't have a cash cushion. Now, they are way on the other extreme. I could make a reasonable argument that, okay, the banks should be holding 200 billion. Okay, let's double it, 400 billion. That still leaves a mere $1 trillion that could be put into the economy. Now, the argument that I hear back, and I've heard it back, is that, yeah, well, of course the banks are in business to make money. They would put the money into the economy if they saw deals, if they saw opportunities, and they don't, because it's too risky. The situation is too risky. That may be true. That may be how they see things. But let's keep in mind, essentially what we are doing for them, we're giving them unlimited insurance for free. Unlimited insurance for free, actually, and then some, because we actually pay them interest. They're holding that money in Federal Reserve accounts, they're getting 0.25% interest. So here's my short-term solution, and I'll close. It's very simple. Think about it as one carrot and one stick to move that money. The stick, tax excess reserve. They may start thinking differently if they had those excess reserves taxed. And I'm not the only one that has proposed this. And even some Republican economists have proposed it. Keep tax, I don't know what the rate is. We can start low. But you keep taxing the reserves until you start to see some movement. And again, I'm not saying move out all 1.4 trillion. Like I said, a mere 700 billion would be nice. Okay? Now, to the argument that says, yeah, but it's too risky and you're going to really screw things up because the environment is too risky. I say, okay, here's my carrot. My carrot is extend loan guarantees to small businesses. Okay? We've had a lot of loan guarantees for the ultra big banks. How about doing it for small businesses?